already know just where I be, dog. I ain't being cocky, but Philly what I'm reppin'. Watch me check it like it's hockey. I ain't tryna get it twisted. If you get it, then you got me. If you with it, cool. If not, I'll treat you like a Tamagotchi. I'ma let you down point. Yeah, I never disappoint.
What's going on, guys? JHoyt back with you today. Welcome back to the Seattle Attack franchise mode. And ever since the last episode, I could not wait to upload, or I should say even record this one. So if you guys don't know, we have been doing a lot in this series. There is a playlist that you guys can go watch from episode 1 all the way up to this episode. So make sure you guys go do that if you are interested. However, this season we have struggled. It's no question we have struggled. We are bottom of the league on pretty much everything. We need more goal scoring. We need better defense. We need our goaltenders to play better. We just overall need our entire team to just work, basically. However, what I was noticing when I was going through the stats and everything last night, well, I shouldn't even say last night, the last week, was our roles aren't defined on our team, right? We have our top line. What should be our top line isn't really our top line. We have, let me just go show you. So edit lines. Now these are our lines, I guess, right now. So we have Spooner and Turris, which was supposed to be, that dominant duo on the top line. We brought back Justin Williams. He was supposed to be on the top line, but he's not really performing that well. Richie is performing. We got him last year. Kapanen, is deserving that second line spot. Dvorak is, coming along here. Pajot, our lines are so spread out that we need more pieces is what I'm trying to say. So that means we're gonna have to do something acquisition wise, because also on defense I changed Edmondson up on the first line, not really for any other reason, but just to kind of play around with what I want to do with the lineup itself. And I want to solidify our roles a little bit more, which involves some trades. 4 trades to be, exact. And you may think, Josh, all you're doing is trading people. You're getting a completely new team. Well, these trades aren't really jeopardizing the future or, making our team so significantly better that, we're just going to win the cup immediately. Or it's not going to, how do I want to say it? It's not going to make our team, tank, is what I'm trying to say. These trades are all legitimately trades that will make our team better, that will make our team roles-wise better, and gets us some more pieces that we actually need. So the first trade I want to go to is actually, we're going to go to Boston first. Now, I know we've already traded with Boston before, but this time it's going to be a little bit different. So we are going to try to acquire forward Riley Nash and a 4th round draft pick. I do have all these written down, by the way, so if it looks like, or if it sounds like I'm reading off a piece of paper, it's because I am. So Boston and a 4th round pick from this year in exchange for forward centerman. Where is he? Sorted by there. There we go. By Chris Tierney. Now, the thought behind this trade is strictly for more experience, on the bottom 6. More of we also need to improve our PK, which is horrible. And Nash does that. Tierney is supposed to be like a 3rd line player, right? I mean, his role says 3rd line. And even though he's not doing, terrible, stats-wise or anything like that, we want to get more defensive guys for our bottom 6. And with the trade after this, that kind of solidifies our bottom 6 perfectly. So hopefully this goes through. It does. So Riley Nash, welcome to Seattle. So that, I didn't really want to do that trade, really at all. But Riley Nash, I know he's good. He does what, is expected of him, kind of thing. And we know what we're going to get with him. Tierney was looking for a spot up in the lineup. Just wasn't really there as far as what we need on our bottom 6. So we have Brown down there. Now we have Nash. And we also have Kuhnhackl. Well, here's the next trade. And, I don't want to make this series into just trading and signing and whatever. Not actually keeping our team together and trying to focus on that. But let's go to Colorado for our next trade here. And you may think, oh, they're in the, they're doing well this year. Why would they make a trade? Well, this trade doesn't really affect much with their team. So obviously you can see they have tons of centermen. And I was going to go after a guy like Antoine Vermette instead of Riley Nash, but I went with Nash instead because I saw that they had Joel Coburn. I think it's Joel. Or Joe? Joe Coburn? Joe, I was right. But this guy, I've had him in pretty much every Be a GM mode, and I don't know exactly why. But look at his defensive stats. He has very good face-offs, very good defensive stats, and that's what I'm looking forward to on our fourth line. So I want to acquire Joe Colborn and a prospect, which is nothing more than just basically some random guy that has good overall down there. So I don't know what his exact name is. Christopher Wolski. So he's a 67-year-old or 67 overall, 19-year-old, just random prospect there. In exchange, now obviously we're going to need to make space for him on our NHL roster. So we're going to throw in Kuhnackel. But also, we're going to be throwing in DiGiuseppe. Now, before I make this trade, right, the thought behind this is I have lots of left wings, basically. I have right wings that are looking for spots. And with guys like Colborn, if he doesn't perform, it's simply just to, we can get rid of him. And we also need experience on the bottom six. So with the addition of Nash, with the addition of Colborn, if it goes through here, it does not. So we do need to add probably a pick in here. Actually, no, this isn't the trade that involves prospects. So let's go with... God, we're going to relive a lot of our prospects. We're going to have to start getting picks for next year as well. Yeah, we don't have any other trades with picks. So let's go next year, 6th round. No, you don't want to do that? The dumb part about this trade is realistically, this trade would go through instantly, right? Some random prospect and two guys that could potentially play in the NHL and Colborn in there. Like, this trade should go through immediately. But I guess let's add a 4th in there. There we go. 4th round pick in exchange for Kuhnackel, DiGiuseppe. Obviously, we get Colborn and Wolski in there. But that definitely solidifies our bottom 6 even more. But not only do our forwards need roles, I'll call them, right? So now we have Colborn and we have Nash down there along with Brown. We have experience down there that improves our penalty kill. The next trade is probably, I'd say, the second most significant that we're going to make today. And that actually has to do with our defense. And what I've noticed is we have two guys in Brodin and Martinez. And obviously with Vatanen and Shattenkirk, they all want to get points, essentially. And we can't really have everyone getting points. So originally I had Brodin on the first line, and he did pretty well. Then they weren't really working out this year, so I swapped him with Martinez, but then he wanted to get a lot of points. So essentially, I need to upgrade Edmondson and fix a spot for Pouliot because he doesn't do well on the right side. Next trade, like I said, has to fix our defense. And like I said, we needed to upgrade that spot with Edmondson. And the trade that I found was trading Edmondson in this trade because he has some potential on him, along with Derek Pouliot, who also has a little bit of potential on him. And this one's going to go not to Colorado. We are going to scroll through to the New York Rangers, who are actually struggling this year. So this kind of makes sense for this trade. But we're going to try to get Brendan Smith. And, he's a defensive defenseman. He's doing decent this year. Not good, obviously, because they're not doing good. But in this situation, just getting rid of two guys that are playing on a third line that aren't really doing that much and it won't really affect our future. Brendan Smith could come into the lineup. Probably going to try to put him on the first line with Shattenkirk and or put him on the second line with Vatanen. But overall, this trade, I think, makes us a better team overall. Of course, it's not going to go through first time. You still can't do that trade that I wanted to do. But let's trade our 4th. Now, let's go with... What do I want to go with? Let's go with Boston's 4th this year. Okay, so that will be accepted. I probably should have tried a 5th first, but you know what? Whatever. So we do have to call up a defenseman, which you probably could figure out who it's going to be, and Billy Polka. He's doing all right down there. I wanted to bring him up, for this year to begin with, but it didn't really work out that way. So Let's put in Brendan Smith. We're going to slide him into the first line. Hopefully that works out. Martinez, you're going to be paired up with Polka on the third line. So overall, this trade, I feel like, makes us a better team, even though, it's probably not the most popular decision to put Martinez on the third line. But just something about Brodin being up there, being a little bit more defensive than Martinez. Hopefully, Martinez can grow his offensive strength on the third line with Polka, and then we could have Smith up there with Shattenkirk playing the more defensive role. However, this is not our last trade. Like I said in the beginning, we had 4 trades. Last trade is the biggest one yet. And this one, I've been trying to, I guess, make this trade work about 4 different times. Not in game, but kind of just scrolling through the teams and trying to figure out a trade that made sense. So, Justin Williams, and let's just say he's supposed to be on our first line this year, and he's not really performed well enough to be there. Right? He's playing on our third line right now with Deneau and Dzingel. But this time, we're going to have to include him in a trade. Not only is he making $5 million, but he's 37 years old. Probably not going to re-sign him for next year because his overall is most likely going to go down. And right now, he is most likely at his top trade value going forward. However, what we're going to try to acquire is from Carolina. And you can probably already figure out who it is by just thinking about right wings. But Lindholm here, we've got the young right wing. Add him to our young team. This is a piece we can build around with Spooner and Turris and Dvorak and Richie and guys like those. The situation, as you could probably tell, the trade value doesn't match up. So we're going to need to add something to this trade. And not like I really want to do this, but if you look at our goaltender situations, we have Korpisello, who once he figures out his groove, that would be fantastic. Right there's our starting goaltender. However, Neuvirth is actually the one performing this year, and I don't want to trade Korpisello, and I don't really want to trade Neuvirth if he's the one kind of carrying the way. But what I noticed is Subban. Now, we originally got him with high hopes that he was going to take over for Neuvirth in net. However, I thought he was going to do that a lot quicker, basically, is what I'm saying. And even though he's doing well in the AHL, I didn't really want to get rid of him. But most likely, unless our team goes through a huge winning streak and just dominates the rest of the year, then most likely he'll become 26 at most likely an 80 or an 81 overall, and he won't really grow that much more. So he'd only be a backup. And then we also have, a couple other guys that are trying to make their way into the lineup there. So we're going to throw Subban in this trade, not only because he has a little bit of trade value, but because he's kind of like the odd man out as far as, in goaltenders. But with trading away 2 defensemen in the last trade in Pouliot and Edmondson, we need to, keep our defenseman stock up a little bit. And nothing really interesting about this one, but they do want to get rid of Brian Straight down here. So we're just going to throw him in this trade only because it matches up player-wise, but also we lost a defenseman. So I kind of need to, add at least a player back. And I didn't really want to sign anyone new as far as, free agents go, because there's not really many interesting prospects there. Also in this trade, I want to throw a couple of prospects in there. And these prospects are players we did draft this year. And it's going to be Tarasov and Scuderi, only because they're already 20 years old and they haven't really grown at all. Plus, the AHL top 2, not really going to do much other than sit there. So, got to throw these 2 in there. We got Dobson down there. I cannot wait until he gets through into our AHL system. But this is going to be the trade. As far as it looks like it should go through, will it? No, of course not. So, I was hoping with the prospects. So, originally when I was, scouting it out, I saw Williams and Subban. Their trade value should have made it go through, but it looks like it apparently doesn't. So what we're going to have to do is probably throw in, do I want to risk like a 3rd round pick this year, or do I want to go 2 years and throw in a 3rd round there? Because this year is going to be the big year. Actually, no, this is a draft where it doesn't have many good people in it. Plus, we have a lot of later picks too. So let's go with no, I want to go with 30 yet. Let's start with like a 5th. And then we'll work our way down if we have to. So let's get rid of Washington's 5th round pick, because that'll probably be later. since I'm guessing they're doing better. But let's go down to proposed trade. It does a bit off, so that's good to see. So let's go with our 4th, and then maybe at the draft we'll trade 2 5ths for a 4th or something like that. So 4th round pick. There we go. So Lindholm, welcome to Seattle, and this is all of the trades I had on my piece of paper. So that is very good to see. But let's get him into the lineup and see where he fits. I think for right now, I'm going to throw Lindholm on the 2nd line. And only because Richie is performing. I think he's our top scoring forward. So he earned that spot, essentially. And Kapanen, I have no problem with moving down to the 3rd line. You know, he needs to grow anyway. Lindholm, I feel like with a more playmaking ability on his side, will help out Dvorak with his scoring ability. So I feel like this would be a little bit more balanced of a lineup, moving Kapanen down and then balancing our lineup a little bit better. But I know we've done a lot of trading in this video, but we are going to do some simulating as well. We are going to try to go up to, I believe, where are we at now? We are at December 23rd. We're going to go about 2 months right up to before the trade deadline. We are going to go after the Arizona game on February 27th. And the day after, we made a new rule. We are going to turn on injuries after the trade deadline. That is the new rule I am making. So let's go to the 27th December. So with those trades, I want to talk about how I kind of went through those trades. Tierney, although he's young, he's still growing. I get that. We needed kind of good guys now, and we needed a little bit more defensive style on our 4th line. With the guys we had on our 4th line, Tierney, Kuhnhackl, you know, they just weren't really playing defensively. They were trying to score goals and not really playing defense. So hopefully with those trades, you know, fix that. Also on the back end with Edmondson and Pouliot gone and Smith in, hopefully that will, you know, change our defensive problems there. We are playing a little bit better, it does look like. And then with the addition of Lindholm and trading away Williams, you know, that was a trade that I've been working around because I was going to throw Pouliot in that trade originally. And then I was like, you know what if we went with a 2 defensemen? Then I was trying to, you know, work in Subban into that and trying to get a you know, backup goalie back. But I was like, you know what, we have 2 solid goaltenders, at least overall wise, you know, in the NHL. So let's try to make that work. But I feel like with all the amount of time and effort I put into those trades, I feel like they turned out well. But as far as scouting goes, let's go defenseman 6 weeks there. I have been looking at some potential top picks there as well. But it looks like our team 15, 25, and 8. We were 10, 17, and like 3 or something like that before. Our AHL team still performing down there. I don't know what it is with them. Braden McNabb. Let's just look at it real quick. 76 overall. We don't really need him. It would just be kind of just another random player. He hasn't really done it. He hasn't played it all this year. So we're most likely not going to make the playoffs. And if we are, then I guess we'll go out and acquire, you know, a couple pieces. But as for right now, it does not look like we are going to. I don't want to keep making trades every episode because I'm trying to get my team, you know, closer to being a full team and getting pieces. But it's kind of hard when you have guys like Williams and, you know, Dvorak and, you know, weird guys like that sometimes perform but then sometimes don't. So that's where my kind of, you know, head's at with that. I don't want to keep making trades. I don't want to keep changing up my team. But we need to make our team better. And the only way to do that during the season is through trades. Because I did look through the free agency as well. There was nothing there. The highest overall, I think, was a 76. If that, I might have been a 75. I don't really remember. But it looks like we're going to wrap it up with a loss to Arizona. So 24, 30, and 8 is our record going forward. I don't see ourselves making any trades now that we go into it unless there's something crazy out there. But let's go over stats and standings and see where we fall in there. Now, we were doing horrible as far as special teams go, as far as, you know, goals and everything go. Let's start it right with our forward. So it looks like Kyle Turris is taking his spot as the number 1 centerman there. However, Peugeot is right behind him. I mean, 1 point difference there. Kapanen, He was like, how dare you put me on the third line? So it looks like we're going to have to switch up the lineup a little bit, maybe, and see where that goes. But Richie's still up there as well. Spooner's up there. Dvorak's up there. 20 goals for Dzingel. All right. So we have a solid 3-line scoring system. But as far as our defense goes, our defensive side, Brown has 11 goals. Okay. So Colborne came in. I don't remember what he had as far as points went. But, you know, this is kind of more for next year, at least for the defensive side. Because I did change strategies already once. But as far as these guys go, Shattenkirk's still leading the way. Vatanen kind of struggling in his sense a little bit. You know, he's down in points, down in everything else. Martinez, I don't really know what he was at before. But the minus 32, can't have that. Might move Martinez up to play with Vatanen. That might help us. Smith is doing pretty much exactly what I thought he was going to do. Have a few points. Hopefully he's playing good defense. I probably should have wrote down what they started at as far as their stats went. But goaltenders, this is what I'm most interested in. Okay, so Neuver, he doubled up his wins. At least Corpusello, I guess, starting to play a little bit better as far as his stats go. But unless we get some crazy trade at the deadline, that's probably going to be our goaltenders for the rest of the year. As far as the rest of our team goes, let's go check out the standings. Here we are at the standings page. Before, I have not looked, by the way, but last time we were at 28th overall. Where are we now? We're 27th. So we're going in that aspect. Where are we at points-wise? We are at 56. So, obviously not very good there. But goals for, still at the bottom of the league. I mean, I think we did improve a couple positions, at least for there goes. Goals against, we did improve there as well, I believe. No, we're up here. So we're still allowing a lot of goals. Don't really know what else to do there. Power play, we have a decent power play. We're top, I think it's like top 15 as far as on the screen goes. Penalty kill. Where are we? We're not on there. 27. So we have an 80% power play, but somehow we're still in the bottom. These people are just doing a lot better than us, at least. Shorthanded goals for. Last time we had 0. I don't really expect anything to change. We have 1 now, so I guess that's cool and all. But, okay, so Seattle, we are 12, 12, and 6 at home. 12, 18, and 2 away. But our last 10 is doing better. Because last time we were like 3, 5, and 2 or something like that. Now we're 6 and 4. So if we can get to like an 8, 1, and 1 in the last 10 and just keep doing that the rest of the year and only losing a game here and there, that would definitely help. But as for now, I'm gonna go try to see if I can figure out something for the lines as far as the rest of the year goes. It looks like our fan happiness has also gone up a little bit. Last time it was at 55. Now it's at 74. So at least they're happy there. I'm gonna wrap it up here. If you did enjoy, make sure to hit that like button down below because I spent a lot of time on this episode, at least. And, the amount of trades that we went through, I put a lot of time for that one. But leave a like if you did enjoy. Subscribe if you have not already. And as always, guys, we'll see you next time.
I want you forever, even when we're not together. Scars on my body so I can take you wherever. Like, I want you forever, even when we're not together. Scars on my body, I can look at you and never